good old-fashioned American motorcycle gang? Nope, Harley-Davidson riders have gone way upscale, and there's not as many naked ladies in them there motorcycle magazines.
The average Harley owner now is more of a professional, more of an upscale person. They don't necessarily need to be spoon-fed pictures of motorcycles with girls. If you're going to show a custom Harley, you want to show a custom Harley. Show why you're showing the motorcycle. To stand a girl with a bikini and high heels behind that motorcycle is insulting to their intelligence as to why they picked up a motorcycle magazine in the first place.
So, California's biggest Harley store finds the new socially acceptable Harley owner more likely to be making movies than busting up a bar.
You know, we deal with the Schwarzeneggers and the Stallones and Bruce Springsteen, for one. He just likes to be dealt with like a normal individual, and that's how I look at everybody that comes in the store. I treat them all the same, no matter, you know, who you are. Harley-Davidson's pretty extensive in the lines that they have. For instance, the Sportster class, you have 4 or 5 different models. Get into your Softail class, again, 4 or 5 different models. Then you get into the big touring bikes, and there also you have about 4 or 5 different models. So us at Batels, we do sell every different type of model that Harley has out.
What do people end up paying when they put everything on it that they like?
I mean, if we're talking reality and you want to do something like a super custom, I've seen people pay up to $45,000, $50,000 for a motorcycle.
So anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000, with maybe $15,000 to $20,000 being average for most people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, a lot of them, you were telling me, immediately as soon as they buy the motorcycle, go into your department store. How many of those customers stick around the shop to buy aftermarket equipment, clothes, upgrades to the bike?
Oh, I would have to say at least 85, 90%.
That many?
Yeah. When you buy the motorcycle, it's like buying a suit. You know, you can't just walk in to Neiman Marcus or somewhere and buy a suit and not buy the shoes and the tie to go with it. It's something that when you buy a motorcycle like a Harley-Davidson, you want to accessorize it, and I'd say 90% of people come back, are return customers, to buy parts to customize the motorcycle.
This particular motorcycle is an example of someone being passionate about their motorcycle. They took the time to take a stock motorcycle, strip the paint off it, take it down to bare metal, put a lacquer over it, and make steel plate trim pieces for their motorcycle. This is the involvement that people have in the motorcycle.
So this person made these steel plates themselves, did not buy it from
This is not from a store. Okay. This is absolutely, everything on this motorcycle that you see in steel plate was one person's idea on how to make his Harley stand out in a crowd.
In the old days, it was the riders who stood out. Now, if you look carefully, and thankfully, there's 1 or 2 who still stand out.
When I got back from Vietnam, I was, to say it mildly, a little crazy. So the first thing I did is I started riding with a club of questionable character, and for the next 10 years, I was an animal on a motorcycle, is what I was. And then when I was 32 years old, I cleaned up, and for the last 20 years, I have been riding Harleys without alcohol and drugs, and without associating with those people. I run around with some people that are just genuinely good people. I go to Batels Harley shop, and they just got to be the nicest people I've ever met. And the people I run around with are all family people. Some of them are a little crazy, but that's just part of life.
Yeah, American bikers have mellowed out. These days, they're called rubbies, rich urban bikers.
This is actually the only bike that I've ever owned, but my great-grandmother rode a Harley in 1916. I think that kind of started the whole, women in our generation, in our family, to being stronger and independent. I ride with about 6 or 7 girls now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. All Harleys?
All Harleys. Yeah, all Harley-Davidsons. And women ride different than men do. I think they're a little more nurturing. I think that they don't want to leave anybody behind, and we all keep track of each other, and men tend to kind of just go for it, all the time.
Do you notice any difference in any different parts of the country, how people greet you when you show up in a leather vest and on a Harley-Davidson?
It's really, lately, it's been getting where they accept it. It's really accepted. Motorcycle people are really accepted because they're realizing that we're not all outlaws. That's only 1% of society is the outlaws. And I might look like one, but I'm the nicest guy in town. I got 2 toy poodles.